Do you feel the pressure? Do you feel the atmospheric pressure? Do you prefer to watch videos that were broadcast from the Smash News Network, now broadcasting from the galactic core of the Milky Way galaxy near Sagittarius A star? We're hoping this is appropriate data, as we're experiencing a time warp. Let's make sure it's good. Okay, all right. So here's pressure from windy.com. Looking at the pressure maps. We've got anticyclones on both sides of the South Atlantic, the South American continent. We've got a high pressure in the North Atlantic Ocean and in the dominating the Pacific Ocean. High pressure off the southeast coast of Australia are making for a 5-way pentagonal thing of pressure that's high on the planet, and everybody knows shapes are scary. Let's see what else is scary when it comes to weather. Is the world on fire? Did you know that carbon dioxide is used in fire extinguishers? Were you aware of that? Here's pressure maps on windy.com. We're going to advance it into tomorrow. There's pressure tomorrow according to the European forecast. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you're wondering where we're located, let's zoom in for once. Smash staff and I are located right about, in the Lehigh Valley. That's as close as I'm going to tell you online rubes where we're located. Just kidding, folks. Don't stalk us. Seriously. Again, we did stream this live to twitch.tv/smashamash. Get us to 100 followers, people. Jeez. I mean, it's the ultimate live streaming platform. It's got to be used. It's got to be used. So, like twitch.tv/smashamash. I'm pretty sure you can go to a website. It's just set up an account, download the app. It's splentacular, by the way. Splentacular. We got strong lightning here all the way from Oklahoma to Lake Michigan. And we'll have to take a look at the real-time lightning map after this little run here plays. But first, let's talk about a tipping point. Are you aware of the North Atlantic overturning, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation? There you go, the AMOC. Now, I've actually been formally studying climate change since 1987. In Earth Sciences class, we took all the standard ecology and stuff like that. And I distinctly remember coming home one day and telling my parents about this little situation right here, where the AMOC gets shut down by fresh water being injected because of like a melting Greenland. It's a negative feedback mechanism on, well, maybe global warming, or maybe just lots of ice and snow being deposited at the poles and changing the makeup. But in any case, normally what happens is the Gulf Stream comes up here and it warms up places like Iceland and the UK, and then at lower depths, the cold water heads back down to the south/southwest, back down toward Florida. And according to things like ice cores and the geologic record, it's apparent that this has to do with snowball Earth scenarios. As the Earth has largely been much colder than it currently is over the past approximately 30 million years. So here's a phys.org article in their Earth section talking about a tipping point. Yes, and the tipping point is that will make the northern hemisphere cold. Now, last year we saw a canary in the coal mine happen. The Thames froze last year in 2020. Who remembers that? Leave us a comment. Somehow I don't think CNN, most busted name in news, covered it. The least trusted name in news, the Climate Nonsense Network. Anyway, that wasn't a Sharticle from phys.org, and let's look at terrestrial lightning. So terrestrial lightning all around Wisconsin, all the way from Minneapolis to Chicago. And here is, south of Kansas City, we got some lightning. Also a separate storm here in Oklahoma. So there's some new lightning kicking off here near the Cheyenne Arapaho tribes. Leave us a comment if you're viewing the videos from an Indian reservation, or if you're viewing the videos from a separate timeline, dimension, plane of existence, planet, galaxy, etc. I use lightningmaps.org when I hear thunder. It's the best way to convince the natives that you're Thor by forecasting thunder. Yeah, it's a thing. Here's your weather.gov map, and we do see some flood watches here around mainly west of Lake Michigan there. Around, yeah. Some flood watches. Have your kayak ready. Next, looking at jet streams. Here are the jet streams of the western planet, starting to form a little more coherently. Keep in mind, folks, the jet streams are more coherent in the wintertime, as in the summertime there is more evaporative processes to cause convective processes to take over the atmosphere. In the wintertime, jet streams are more coherent in that cold air is more massive than warm air, which makes it more prone to form into these currents. Here are the surface winds of the western world. Rotating it to the eastern world, there are the eastern world surface winds, and we've got some strong winds off of the Japanese coast once again, as well as around Australia. Here are the jet streams of that portion of the planet. Shout out to our viewers from the eastern portion of Earth, our viewers from Munda and from Ova. Look, I've drawn a chapeau. By the way, if you haven't checked out smAsho.com, we're making lots of changes there. One of the changes that you'll find is that changes to our merch shops are happening. And today's featured merch product is Smasher Price, My First Pandemic. It's an homage to the pathetic and infantile response mankind has had to the COVID. And I'm actually wearing one now. Here at the Smash News Network, we put our lives where our mouth is. Yes, we put our lives where our mouth is. So when people were learning to wash their hands last year, we were doing stuff like saying you should focus on your general health. So perhaps check this one out. Smasher Price, My First Pandemic. It's one of the first pieces of merch we ever made. And look for changes coming to all the merch shops. You can find them all at smashamash.com. Also, our social media is there. And check out the forum. It certainly doesn't even look the same, and it's certainly not the same. Shout out to all of our new forum viewers. If you're wondering what's there, you'll have to go find out yourself. It's all free at the moment, and we're intending to keep it free. Let's talk about some Sharticles. Here's a Sharticle from phys.org. And it's alarmism trying to convince you that the planet's warming. So let's just look, we don't have to. All right, we're broadcast. Hey, COVID, I told you not to try to follow us to the galactic core. It's not going to work out. Owned. I told it. It's going to get destroyed by radiation. But did it listen to me? Oh, no. It knew, didn't it? Anyway, heat-related symptoms affected one quarter of Americans during the summer of 2020. I don't know if you're aware that cold kills people more so than hot does, and I don't know why this is like such an incredibly like controversial thing to say, that cold kills people and hot kills less people. It's really not a concern. Actually, a warmer planet allows us to farm in places like Siberia and northern Canada and Greenland, which makes it allows us to produce more food, and so there's that. Anyway, continuing on, here's a U.S. Doppler radar map. And some rain brushing across the East Coast and New England there, around the the mid-Atlantic states. It's to our east, though. It's going to be dry and lovely in Pennsylvania. Leave us a comment if you're going for a bike ride today. Here's what's going on in the cloud layer. And here's the water vapor map. And it looks like the jet stream is going to move these systems into an easterly direction here, folks. I can see a little bit of input coming down like this. And it looks like those systems are already sort of making a change from northeasterly to easterly. They're kind of going like this. And it's pretty evident on the water vapor map. So let's do a recap. There's the U.S. Doppler. We'll actually zoom in on this area here since this is pretty serious stuff. Probably making for some high seas there. Some severe thunderstorms over Lake Michigan. And by the way, folks, one of the reasons the Great Lakes are so dangerous is because of these narrow inlets. Those cause waves to be amplified massively as pressure gradients try to shove the water in between the Great Lakes. That's why the Great Lakes Triangle is much more dangerous, statistically speaking, than the Bermuda Triangle. Anyway, there's the cloud layer. One more time. During your recap, there's your water vapor map. And thanks for tuning into the Meteorology segment. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho, signing off from the Smash News Network. Least busted. Naming news.